the next game we have on our list. Justin's going to tell us more about Divinity: Original Sin.
So yes, Divinity: Original Sin. This is a story about Adam and Eve, and no, actually, this is brought to you by the Larian Studios. They have been working on the Divinity series, which is a RPG style game, and they are based, I believe, in Belgium. Uh, the game looks pretty cool. It's currently on Steam Early Access. You can get it there. I believe it's like $30. Someone wants to double check me on that, but yeah, I think it's
It's
$30 to get in.
40.
Oh,
It looks
40.
like,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. $40 to get in now. And anyways, the currently their scheduled release is for February 28th, which is just about a month away. If you get in now, there are some things to keep in mind, like the whole game isn't there. I think just about like the first 15 hours of gameplay are there. Probably still going to be a few bugs, and your saves will not transfer over to the shipped game. So keep those in mind. But you can still definitely check it out, play it, and like submit any feedback and bug reports. Going on, there's some pretty cool features about this game. Basic overview is think something like a Diablo style game where it's like a kind of tilted camera, like isometric view of characters below, and you kind of click and move them around. Uh, but everything's in real time except for when you're in combat. Then it becomes turn-based. Uh, there's some really cool elemental effects in this game. It's pretty deep. For example, you could light someone on fire and then call down rain, and then the rain will put out the fire, of course. And then if things are wet and you use electricity on them, like water is a conductor of electricity, so you can use that to your advantage. All these different ways that they play with each other, and you can use that for your strategic advantage. One character might feel one way, and the other character may feel a different way, and you can kind of choose like whether or not you want them to really get along well or not so much. They have two systems for this. It's called affinity and affection, and this can also happen when you play cooperatively as well. Your characters can have affection, which means that they like each other, and then that can actually end up leading to more of like a romantic, I think possibly even a marriage situation. But then you can also have affinity, which means that they think alike. So it could be two people that often maybe don't really have like kind of have clashing personalities, but they kind of come to they sort of have like a same viewpoint on a lot of similar things. I'm not. It seems still a little cloudy, but it definitely sounds cool. Also, if you are playing cooperatively, and one example that they keep on showing in videos I've seen is there's like a talking shell, and you can either throw the shell back into the water and it will give you some treasure, or you can keep it and like sell it to a vendor sometime. So one player, like if I'm playing with Jared, I might want to put the shell back into the ocean because I am a nice person, but Jared, on the other hand, he might want to keep it for his own for profit. And then when that happens, there's sort of checks that can happen. Either you can kind of like charm or intimidate each other into basically going along with what you want to happen. Then there is also going to be an adventure building kit, so you can create your own content and share it with other players, which will be pretty cool. Make your own quests, stuff like that. And what else? This will be available on both PC and Mac. And I guess like another game of theirs was Dragon Commander, which if you look at it is just a dragon with a jetpack. It's like the main visual promotion for that game, which you wouldn't really expect to have really deep, well thought out characters in it, but it does have a lot of really good, like a cast of great, well developed characters in it, and deep dialogue trees for that as well. There's a lot of your choices in that game can affect your relationships with characters, social issues, and standings with allied kingdoms. So I think that this studio definitely does take dialogue trees, lore, all that stuff very seriously. So I'm kind of expecting good systems for that.
Hey Justin,
Yes.
have you played the really old Divinity games?
No.
Oh, okay, so you played the Dragon Commander though.
I've watched videos on Dragon Commander. I haven't played it, but I've watched like a few videos about it.
Cool. Yeah, it's really interesting. This company, I think it's Larian Studios.
Yeah.
It seems like all they've made are Divinity games. That's their universe.
Mhm.
So the only game I played it was the very first, what's it called, Divine Divinity. That was back in I guess the early 2000s. It was sort of a
Yeah, I remember that.
Diablo clone at the time. More of an open world style game though, and that was really good. I mean, I played it a bit when it came out, and then when it came out on GOG, I bought it again and played some more. And so it's really cool to see them expand this universe into different types of games, especially the Dragon Commander. And now they've kind of gone back to RPGs with what looks like a really high budget, glossy game. So looks good. I mean, the early access price is a little bit lower for your typical PC game, but it's not cheap either. So I don't know, Jared, what do you think about this?
I guess my thoughts are I've always really enjoyed games like these. I remember sitting on my porch in the middle of summer and having 8 people LAN Diablo 2. So these like action RPGs from like this, stereoscopic viewpoint are kind of up our alley, and we have a lot of fun going through games like these. So when you're comparing it to those sort of games, it seems like it'd be a lot of fun. It's interesting. I'd be interested to see what sort of features, other than some of the stuff Justin mentioned, are going to make this game more unique than some of those, right? What is this big game going to offer that the other ones didn't?
Like the conversation system, you're saying that you can make different choices with certain NPCs. And then there's also drop-in, drop-out co-op. So I wonder how they're going to handle that persistence. Since you're playing along in your campaign, and let's say Jared jumps in and takes on the role of the other character, you guys go through a bunch of main quests, and let's say you Justin and Jared, you guys always disagree on things. Like there's another moral dilemma, and so you guys always go on opposite ends.
That doesn't sound like us.
And then Jared drops out, and then you play with just the AI controlling the other person, and then I'll jump in maybe like 10 minutes later, I'll take over the role of that same character, and I'll make completely different choices. You know, how are they going to handle that? Or it's just, maybe they don't handle it, and it's just like co-op. You just want people to do co-op and just do all the fighting together, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they balance
I believe
all
you
that
can
out.
do up to 4 players co-op as well.
4 players? Holy
I
Well, what's
think
interesting is
so.
they say it's a single-player, multiplayer co-op, but I mean those are all separate distinctions.
Oh, okay. So there's single player, multiplayer, and co-op.
Or maybe you have like a different save for each mode. That might make more sense.
Who knows? But yeah, I mean, the game looks pretty deep from what I've seen, and um, yeah, I'm pretty interested in it from the looks of it.
Looks
Great.
looks cool, yeah.
Yeah.
If my computer could run it, I'd probably
Any,
try it out right now.
Anybody else think this early access price is a little high? Like I know you were saying it's kind of on the cheap side for PC games and retail. It would be,
Hmm.
but for me to take a chance on, I guess there are previous Divinity games and folks that have been really into the universe know that this is going to be a well-built game, and so maybe it's not too high.
I think the price, a lot of these early access games are priced the way they are because of their Kickstarter tiers. So on Kickstarter, if you were to donate more, then you get early access to it, so you could try it out earlier, like alpha access or
Okay.
beta access. And that's why if you look at other games like Planetary Annihilation, that started, I think, when it first hit Steam Early Access around $80. Now it's like down to 45 or something like that, because now that was like alpha early access, and now it's in beta early access, and they're just trying to be fair to those initial Kickstarter backers.
And I think that makes sense. I think the ability to play the game early is worth maybe that little bit extra.
Sure, yeah. You can try it out, give some feedback, I guess. One other interesting thing that I just remembered was all of the quest designers have to make sure that there are basically that if you were to kill whoever is a quest giver, if the players were to kill that person before they get the quest, there's still another way to find out about that quest and then achieve that quest. Maybe that's only for like the main storyline, so no one gets completely screwed. But I think it might be for all the side quests as well, which is interesting because they mentioned like you could kill everyone in this game if you wanted to. There's some really cool things like like you could get in a fight outside of a town and then run back to the town, and then whatever monster's chasing you, the guards will start to fight as well. So some interesting things.
Thinking flashbacks of Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, those sort of games where it's all AI driven, it's all kind of emergent. You get funny stuff like that happening. Yeah, it's cool.
Very cool.
Alright, so that was Original Sin.